I was unaware that the organizers had figured in the she's a brave woman and the kind of work she's doing is extraordinary. आप देखोगे मैं पर्चियाँ खोलनी है because वो उन्होंने कहा कि वो PowerPoint नहीं चलानी है, उसके बगैर ही करना है. So कुछ I wanted to share some data, वो मुझे याद तो नहीं है, I have to look at that. So I run a data company. So what we do for our clients is that we make sense out of data for them. We give meaning to the data they give us. We give them trends. We give them sense into how they can use that data to make more money. To how they can use that data to tell you about who they are. That's what we do. And we're a small company. There are many big companies doing this at a large scale. हमारी कंपनी सिर्फ 45-50 लोगों की. This discussion today is about the power of, how I look at it is, as information or the use of technology, has it reached the masses? And if so, what are the pros and cons of it? I work in the media. I do a little show also. To do a show like that, I've had to go around Pakistan because it's a show for the common man, for the masses. And I've had to understand what people need in terms of the understanding of basic business ka show. The world we live in is driven by narratives. So I'm going to be talking about two things. I'm going to try to wrap it up in 10 minutes because otherwise Nigel will switch off my mic. So I'm going to talk about two things. One, technology, and the other, knowledge. So if you talk about technology, I would like to talk about the internet. If I talk about the internet, well, we're living in the world of gig economy where everything sounds rosy now because someone in New York can break down a project in 5 different pieces, give one project to some person in some street of Nigeria, another person in another street of Karachi, and another person in another street of Ukraine. Collect that, put it in the form of a project, nicely package it and sell it to the client. That's gig economy. It would not have been possible had technology not been there. So technology clearly is the great equalizer. You have no excuse anymore. If you want to make money, if you want to have impact, you have access to technology. But of course, considering, I'm assuming you have access to the internet. And as I was looking at things in the morning, I don't quite know the source, but the source my team says, but unfortunately, मेरा काम मेरी team करती है. But the team says that about 69% people in Pakistan don't know what internet means. I don't quite know how credible that figure is, but if that is true, that says so much about the great equalizer not really being the great equalizer anymore. So the first goal should be to connect the unconnected. Sabko access to mile pehle. So the power of technology, the power of internet cannot be undermined. It's there, but there's a hindsight to this. The hindsight to this is the use of that technology and how, and let me put it in 3 different categories. Powerful people build narratives using technology, using the internet, using digital mediums. And they tell you that this wall is black. And they tell you in so many ways that you start believing it. Because they have the power, they have the resources, they have the influence, they have the connections, they have the network. That's powerful people. This is happening globally. But there's the downside to this. I want to bring it down to you, the person, us, the one. This is global. Now let's cut it down to a region, a country. Let's talk about Pakistan or Asia. There's a narrative that's sold to you through various mediums. I don't want to call any industry in my neighborhood creating. I'm not a big believer of conspiracy theories, but I am a believer of data because I work with data. So what I've seen is, let's take an assumption of a boy called Ikram who lives in some house in Lahore. He's a common boy who's doing his BSc. His father is working in a bank, belongs to a middle class. Now he goes to watch the cinema, or he likes nowadays Netflix and all those things. He watches something on Netflix, and they tell him what a successful man looks like. He's given a picture of a successful man and how he became successful. Now here's where the dichotomy lies. His reality around him does not accommodate him enough to become the successful man he saw on Netflix. And that's what starts causing cultural confusion. How do I become this guy who's so cool? How do I become this rich? How do I become this impactful? And because there's so much gap between reality and what is shown using the power of digital or media, he or she, Ikram or whoever, starts taking all kinds of steps to get to that. That's where corruption seeps in. That's where lies seep in. That's where complexes are nurtured. You know, if you want to know someone well, and if you want to beat them, just know their complexes, play on that. That's how it works. They've understood how to play on your complexes. खाना खाते हो तो ताकत आती है ना? आपके complexes को खिलाएंगे तो और बढ़ेंगे. That's the power of narrative. So, you must be wondering, why am I being so dramatic? I'm not being dramatic, I'm just trying to be very realistic. And I'm going to try and wrap this in 5 more minutes. Data is the new oil. Data is pure mere numbers. It's nothing. But you and I give meaning to data. We give the power to data. So here lies the responsibility, which we do not assume. This is the age of information. Information is available everywhere. Sure, as the information increases, knowledge decreases. Because there is no conversion between information to knowledge. And how really would you make sense of knowledge? You make sense of knowledge using the power of reflection. When you find yourself, when you find your purpose, you start looking for the right things. You take away distractions. Yes, it's an information overload, but not every information is supposed to be absorbed. But not every bit of information is supposed to be believed in. There's something called our brain. It's a very interesting machinery. It's better than any computer. It's all about how you condition that brain to absorb data, make sense of it. So my point is, before I leave this for questions, and I hope there are questions, please try to be responsible in absorbing what you're absorbing, deciphering what you're deciphering. Use your power, your own brain, to find out whether the wall is black or gray. Technology is making us dumb. I get paid for it. And this saddens me so much. Elections are won now using sentiment analysis. Anywhere in the world. Data companies are minting money. Why wouldn't they? But guess what? Let's stop here. If something's making you dumb, if something's making you not think anymore, this is a problem. And we need to take responsibility. Because if we don't take responsibility, all of the things that were being discussed, I just went through my not quite sure what was happening. I just picked up a few points about right to information and all those things. These are real issues. Women like her and organizations that are doing this for the country are serving our country in a very, very big way. Right now, they seem like a small, effort, but it's a very important effort. There should be transparency in many, many things that aren't transparent. But before I close, because I'm talking to, I'm assuming, students also and young people, see, it's you who matters. Don't let technology or internet or digital drive your perception. Be perception builders. Nations that have become strong economically and socially are perception builders. As Pakistanis, that's our duty for our country to build the right perception. Let's not follow perceptions. I can take your questions now. Thank you.